You're standing in a gravel lot behind a self-storage facility off Route 9, holding a number on a slip of paper. 14. That's your bid position, not your bid amount. There are maybe 20 people here, half of them regulars who know each other, coffee in hand, watching a chain-link gate the way people watch a horse gate before a race. This isn't a hobby you set out to have. 3 weeks ago, you were just a guy who processes claims for an auto insurer. $41,000 a year. And you'd never once thought about what happens to a storage unit when someone stops paying rent on it. Your co-worker Marcus mentioned it first. The way people mention things that don't seem important. He'd gone to one of these auctions with his uncle, bought a unit for $60, found nothing but a broken treadmill and some Christmas decorations, and told the story at lunch like it was a joke on himself. But you didn't hear the punchline the way he told it. You heard the $60. You heard that a facility manager just cuts the lock, opens the door, and a dozen strangers stand there for 2 minutes deciding what a stranger's whole life is worth, sight unseen. You went home that night and did 40 minutes of research, which is 40 minutes longer than most people bother. What you found wasn't a get-rich scheme. It was boring. Storage facilities default on maybe 5% of units in a given year. The facility doesn't want the stuff. They want the space back, so they auction it fast and cheap. Winning bidders are usually reselling furniture on Facebook Marketplace for gas money. Nobody's getting rich flipping a unit full of someone's old couch. He kept anything worth keeping, sold what wasn't, and used the empty units because storage units come with a month of free rent built into most facility resale contracts to store his own overflow inventory from a small resale business he already ran. He wasn't flipping storage units. He was using other people's abandoned space as free warehousing while he figured out something bigger. But that's not what caught your attention. What caught your attention was a comment buried in a forum thread from a guy who didn't sell the contents at all. He bought the habit of showing up. 12 units over 4 years. Average cost around $300 each. You don't have a resale business. You have $2,200 in a savings account and a Saturday with nothing on it. The first unit you win costs $40. Unit 114, a 10x10 near the back. The lock gets cut, the door rolls up, and it's mostly disappointing. A stack of moving boxes, a broken lamp, a mattress you're not touching. But underneath a tarp in the back corner, there's a table saw, still in decent shape, and 3 sealed boxes of ceramic tile. The kind someone bought for a renovation they never finished. You sell the table saw for $180 on Marketplace the same week. The tile goes for $90 to a guy doing a bathroom himself. You haul the rest to the dump for $25. Net profit on a $40 unit, $205. Nobody congratulates you. Your girlfriend thinks it's mildly amusing. The way you'd find a hobby amusing. You don't tell anyone the actual number, because $205 sounds like nothing when you say it out loud. And it is nothing, except that it proves the math works the way the forum post said it would. You go to the next auction 3 weeks later, then the one after that. By month 4, you've won 6 units, spent a combined $410, and cleared just over $1,900 after selling what was sellable and dumping what wasn't. You start noticing things you didn't notice before. Which facilities run auctions monthly versus quarterly? Which auctioneers rush through descriptions versus which ones let you get a real look through the door? Which units near the front of a building tends to belong to people who moved recently versus which units near the back belong to people who've been paying on autopilot for years and forgot they had anything in there at all? That's when you meet Denise. She manages the facility off Route 9, the one where you won Unit 114. She's run it for 11 years, and she's tired in the specific way people get tired of a job that's mostly fine. Over a conversation that starts about drainage in the loading bay, she mentions, almost as an aside, that the facility's owner is looking to unload 2 smaller locations he inherited and doesn't want to deal with anymore. 40 units total between them, half occupied, half not, in a town 20 minutes from where you grew up. He wants $95,000 for both. Denise isn't selling you anything, she's just talking. but you write the number down on the back of a gas receipt anyway, the way you used to write down rent due dates. You bring a spreadsheet, not a pitch, to a small regional bank that still does SBA loans for people who aren't buying restaurants or gas stations. The loan officer, a guy named Roy who's been doing this for 22 years, tells you most people who ask about self-storage financing have already lost interest by the third meeting because the returns aren't exciting enough to sustain their attention. You keep showing up anyway. You don't have $95,000. You have $6,100 in the account that started with $2,200, plus a year of paycheck stubs that show you can service debt reliably. You spend the next 6 weeks doing something you've never done before, which is treat your own finances like a loan officer would. You pull your credit report. You calculate what 40 units at partial occupancy could realistically generate in monthly rent, conservatively, using numbers Denise gave you without realizing she was giving you anything. The first year, the two facilities net $31,000 combined after the loan payment, insurance, and a part-time manager you hired for 8 hours a week. You don't quit your claims job. You don't tell your parents the actual number when they ask how the storage thing is going. You just keep going to auctions on Saturdays, still bidding $40 here, $60 there. Because the habit that started this was never really about the flip. It was about learning to look at something everyone else drives past. A gate, a gravel lot, a stranger's forgotten furniture, and ask, who owns this, and what does it actually make? You close on both facilities 14 months after Unit 114. The bank finances $76,000 of it. You put down the rest from savings, a small inheritance you'd been sitting on out of guilt more than intention, and the profit from 31 storage auction flips you kept doing the entire time, quietly on Saturdays while the loan was in underwriting. Marcus still tells the treadmill story at lunch. He doesn't know you own 2 facilities 20 minutes from where you grew up, and you're not going to be the one to bring it up. Some Saturdays, you still stand in a gravel lot holding a number on a slip of paper, not because you need the $40 unit, but because you never stopped liking the 2 minutes before the door rolls up, when nobody in that lot knows what's actually inside, including you. What's sitting in the units you haven't opened yet?